Alright, so Zpacks sent me a new hip belt with new carbon fiber stays. They actually sent me 3 carbon fiber stays, so I definitely am going to make it to Katahdin with these. Hopefully none of them break, but I'll have a couple extra if needed. So I'm going to show you guys how to put this on the backpack. So first you got to feed the carbon fiber stay through the hip belt, alright? That's step number 1. And then you're going to slide it into the area here. I'll show you in a minute. Alright, once you've slid it through the back attachment on the back of the hip belt, then next you're going to attach it to the backpack itself. So first you have to slide it into the attachment part on the backpack on one side, and then it takes a little bit of bending to get it into the other one. Let me show you guys. Alright, so first you want to take that in there and you want to slide it into the first pocket there, but you want to bypass it. So get you something hard that you can bend a little bit. Once you get it in there, and you want it to bypass the pocket so that you can come back to it. There you go, like that. And then you want to feed that thing all the way through so it goes above. Alright, so now you got to get the other one past the attachment point right here. So you're going to pull that past the attachment point so you can push it back through again. Alright, so now that one's going to go into the pocket. So once you've gone past the attachment point, just slightly, you got to manipulate that thing and then push it back into that attachment point there, which is, there we go. Alright, so now we got that. Well, I had it in there. Got it in there now. Push that thing back through. Alright, so now once that's pushed back through, then you're going to push it into the pocket on the opposite side. Now comes the difficult part. So what we're going to do is, once I've got this in the pocket on the opposite side, I pull out in the middle here to get this one to go in the pocket. So I'm going to keep pulling until this one clears the point right there. Don't get my strap caught in it. And then boom, now it settles back into the pocket, and then you can push that thing flat, and now it's in the pocket on both sides, and my hip belt is now reattached. That is how you attach your hip belt back to your Zpacks Arc Ultra if you have to replace that carbon fiber stay. It doesn't take but a few minutes, but if you know how to do it that way, it's a lot easier than the first time I figured it out. I had to figure it out a lot harder, so hopefully that helps you guys if you ever have to do that. We got this beautiful open grassy area here in the sun. We got plenty of wind and everything, and so I'm going to set up my tent. I'm going to lay everything out clothing-wise, and then we're going to do this Permethrin treatment, which is going to help with the mosquitoes, the ticks, and all that kind of stuff on us. So I'm going to get that all treated right here and let the sun dry it out and get us all dried out before we head back to trail. Now that I got my hip belt reattached, we're good to go back to trail, but I'm going to get this Permethrin treatment done while we're here. All right, step 1 complete. I have everything laid out in the sun, and now I'm ready to spray everything down with my Permethrin. All right, so now I've taken my Permethrin and I've sprayed all of my gear, and then I flipped it over and I sprayed the other side. Now we're going to let it sit out in the sun and dry a little bit before I start packing everything up and putting it back away again. This stuff also says that it's safe to use on dogs, just not on cats. It's lethal for cats, but it says you can put it on everything else. So yeah, so we got everything treated. Now we're going to give it a little while and get everything packed back up. All right, now that we've got everything treated, I figured this would be a good time as any to show you guys how exactly I load my backpack. So this is just how I do it. There's no perfect way of doing it, but I'm going to show you guys how I stack my stuff in my backpack the way I think that it's most efficient and most comfortable for me. All right, so here we have my empty backpack, and I have all my gear laid out in front of me. So the first thing I put inside of my backpack is my sleeping quilt. That goes in the very, very bottom. Alright, so right now I'm also carrying Leo's sleeping quilt for him. When he has a full load of food, I put this in my bag as well. So I also stuff that down all the way in the bottom. So I've got a nice soft and cushioned bottom. There's also a little bit of room in the side for me to stuff my pillow in the side stack. So I slide my pillow in there and I shove it down in the bottom with both of the quilts. now that I've got a nice and cushioned bottom, the next thing I'm gonna shove in there is my clothing sack, right? So my clothing sack goes right on top of those guys right there. And again, this is gonna be in my back area and in my lower back area. So I want most of the cushioning to be right there. All right, so next I'm gonna start stacking my ditty bags and my sleeping bag. So my sleeping pad. So my sleeping pad goes in next, right on top, right? And then my ditty bags, I have two different ditty bags. I have an electronics ditty bag, and I have a ditty bag with medications, Body Glide, ibuprofen, all the little extras that are in this ditty bag here. So I slide that in there, and I slide my electronic bag over to the side. All right, so that's pretty much how I've got everything stacked. The last thing that goes in here is my food bag. I go get the food bag. All right, the last thing that goes in here goes in my food bag. So my food bag goes right on top, so that any food items I have that don't, that I don't want to get squished, goes in the top there. All right, and then I attach my tent to the outside of my pack. So if, like yesterday, I need to get set up quickly in the rain, I can pull my tent off, get everything set up, pull my entire backpack into my tent without having to open up my backpack and get anything wet on the inside. All right, the last couple things is I'll strap my pad to the top outside my backpack. That goes over the roll top to give it a little bit extra weather protection. And if I've used my towel, which I did yesterday, but it's dry now, if I use my towel, I strap that to the top of the pad so that the sun can dry it as I'm walking. So this will actually go inside my pack now since it is nice and dry, right? And the only other difference is sometimes I'll have dirty clothes. So this is a pair of dirty socks. This one actually has a hole in it, so I'm gonna throw these ones away. But if I do have dirty clothes, they go at the very bottom of my backpack underneath everything. And I'll normally put them in a Ziploc bag so that the stink doesn't get on everything else, right? So, but these ones are going in the garbage because they got holes in them. So that is how I load my backpack. And so the exterior of the pack, you've got my camp shoes on the outside hanging on a piece of string. I have my rain gear right here, so it's accessible if I need to pull that out quickly. And then I also have my toiletry bag right here on the outside that includes the poop shovel, my wipes, and my Purex, my hand gel, and some toilet paper. So that's basically how my bag is loaded, and that's the way that I find it most efficient and most comfortable for me. So now we've got all of our gear treated, and I've got my backpack loaded. It's time for us to get back on trail.